medications and all the different creams, and it wasn't really working for me. And for a while I was just kind of bearing through it, you know. And many of us do this. We have these symptoms where we kind of just push through with our stomach problems because, you know, we can. And we can with Pepto-Bismol, we can with all these things, and we can find these ways of managing our symptoms. And I did that. But it wasn't until I had severe eczema all over my face. That's when you can't hide anymore from your problems. That's when I started feeling like I had to face myself because I couldn't go outside anymore. I was embarrassed to go hang out with my friends. I was embarrassed to go to the grocery store. I actually learned how to tie a scarf strategically around my face so that it looked fashionable, because that's how much I didn't like the way I looked, and I just couldn't look at myself, and I couldn't have anyone else look at me either. And at that point I was really desperate, so I went on an elimination diet, and I tried all these different detoxes and diets and tried all these different therapies because I knew that it was stress related. So I tried doing these different things to become more positive in my life. I tried these different exercises, yoga, meditations, hypnosis, subconscious meditations, to try to kind of reprogram what was going on with me, because I knew from the teachings that we hear of is that positive affirmations and perhaps changing the way we think can change our health. So I really bought into that, and I was very forceful about being positive. I stuck positive notes everywhere, all over my wall, and I tried going the route of, you know, let's do this positively. Let's love myself. You know, I can say nice things about myself. But the problem was that I was still hiding from myself. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was squashing all of my most honest feelings about my body, my most honest feelings about my relationship that I was in and the relationships that I've had. See, that's when I realized that being positive doesn't help when you have chronic symptoms. And it wasn't until I realized that it was the problematic relationship that I was in, and the kind of fight I was having with myself, and the kind of resistance I had to life that really perpetuated my problems. And when I realized that it was the resistance that I had to everything in my life, that's when I realized I had the answer, is that I had to stop resisting life around me. And that meant stop resisting all the emotions, stop hiding from myself, and finally deal with the person that I never dealt with, which was me. So that's when I started to surrender. That's when I started to really allow myself to be me, to feel all the things that I've squashed down my entire life, to express all the emotion that I never got to because it was wrong and because it was shame. And that's when I started healing. That's when I realized I started healing. This is like a real story because it makes me so emotional. But that's when I started healing who I was inside. And that's my message, is that we are so much bigger than our physical bodies, that our physical ailments do not define who we are, but that we have a choice to rise above our illness. We have a choice to heal if we let ourselves. We have a choice to surrender to all the pain and all the trauma that needs to leave us. And when we heal our souls, we heal who we are inside that's living in our bodies, we become at rest. We release the stresses from the past. We release the trauma from our childhood, and our nervous system gets back into rest, and then our bowels begin to digest. So that's how I healed. That is my story. It was a battle of trying to hide from myself. It was a battle of giving up the fight that I had inside of myself and to surrender to the healing that's already within us. That's it. That's my story.